Kim Binkowski. I am the President of Brokerage Operations and National Sales for American Invsco Realty. I wanted to talk today to anyone who may be out there thinking that they want to invest in real estate. I received my real estate license 25 years ago, and probably my second or third year in the business I started buying real estate. And how I started was putting some of the money aside, looking for future investments. And I started small. I went to a small home in Worth, Illinois, and bought that property and actually physically rehabbed it myself, didn't hire someone outside to do it, turned it and sold it. And my comment is, and it did well, made $10,000, $12,000 or whatever, which was more money than I was making per deal of sales, so it was a great way to get into the business. But it's funny because every property I've ever invested in since then, I've kept. I don't like to flip them, I like to keep them. I shouldn't say every property. I have had some in between that I sold. But for the most part, the majority of what I wanted to talk about is investing in real estate and keeping the real estate. So since then, I own several apartment buildings, I own condos and townhomes and houses and whatever. And my big goal with my clients, when I mainly sold real estate before I got into the senior management position, is helping people invest in their first property. Because I think that's the first step. Once you do it, it's like a drug. You'll become addicted to it, you'll do it again and again. But it's funny because investors will tell you a lot of people flip property, but every investor who ever flipped always wishes they still had that property because it's continued to appreciate. So what I would suggest to people is that you invest in property and continuously keep it up, rent it out. I know a lot of people have a problem with tenants. They think that's a hard thing to do as property management. But if you screen your tenants well and you know the legal process if you have to remove a tenant, it's actually a very viable process. Unfortunately, I had gone through a divorce during the times that I was investing, and I will tell you that the properties that I owned were the only thing I had left afterwards. So had I not been investing in real estate, money goes quickly, as we all know. You just can't keep money around all the time. But in real estate investment, it's almost like a savings account. You really can't touch it. It sits there unless you go to sell it. One of the other things in today's market, which is mainly what I wanted to focus on, everyone talks about the market is not good and it's not a good time and things are terrible, which always cracks me up. Because when I got into the real estate business, interest rates were coming down from 18 to 20%. My first sales, they were paying 14 3/4 for a home. And I sold 24 homes that year. And I was a 21-year-old punk, didn't even know kind of what I was doing. And I sold 24 homes that year, and it was because everyone has to live somewhere. They can either pay rent or they can own a home. And at 14 3/4 for those of us in today's world, we can't even imagine that. And I remember we couldn't wait for 10% to hit. If we could ever get to 10% interest rate, we could sell a ton of hot properties. Well, here's the funny thing. Now we're between 5.5% and 6%, and people are waiting. What are we waiting for? Now is the time to buy. People say, well, prices are going down. Prices may be going down a small smidgen. If a house is worth $299 last year, it might be worth $295 this year. Big deal. The money that you would have saved in the taxes and everything else to write off would have been worth investing now. I don't know how many people have thought about investing in real estate, but one avenue that they may consider at this point is your 401k money or your IRA money. Did you know that you can purchase real estate with that? I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to retire yet. Legally, I'm not old enough. Mentally, I don't know that I'll ever be old enough. But the thought is, if you've got money in the stock market right now, probably not the greatest investment at the moment. That is going down in value. Real estate doesn't go down. And if you were to invest in real estate now and you were 45 years old, you'd have 15 to 20 years before you'd go into that money. Could you imagine what the real estate would be worth? Way more than what I think the stock market would be, unless you're a whiz at the stock market. I'm not. So I'm watching my 401k money going down. So it's one avenue that somebody may want to consider. It is something that I'm considering right now. I'm just trying to find the right investment. People ask that all the time. What should I invest in? I think you should invest in something that you're comfortable with. Maybe a first investment might be a small condo that you just buy and rent out and know that you could handle the payments if there wasn't a tenant in there. Some people like apartment buildings. I happen to like apartment buildings because if I lose a tenant in a 4-flat, there's still 3 other tenants paying my mortgage. In a home, you lose the person in the home and there's nobody else but you paying the mortgage. But it's usually a smaller investment. One of the things that our company has been trying to do in the last couple years since I came into the company is international investments. You know, and that's, people think, oh my God, that's kind of scary, buying a property that's not here in the United States. But actually a lot of people invest out of the country, and an international investment may be the first thing that you want to do. The pricing is so much cheaper out of the country, the appreciation tends to work better. So there's a lot of different variety of options of where you may want to invest. The best thing you can do is, first of all, find a realtor who understands it. Perhaps a realtor who's already invested themselves, because they know the pitfalls of what you need to do in order to invest. And you wouldn't be, you know, handling something with a first-time agent who's never had an investment property themselves. So that may be one avenue to do. You can always call a professional, you know, call a real estate company, call American Invsco, and ask them who in your organization deals with investors. Our company is known for dealing with investors. We have sold block sales of units to investors. We currently carry an 80 listing portfolio that we're selling outright. And that's only been on the market like a week and a half, and I think we've had 4 offers. So when people say nobody's buying right now, that's not true. The people that have money right now know that this is the time to buy. Thank you.